today we finish up with the mounting plates for the lights. As well as get a door handle on the new door. So this is really just a update on the progress of the house video, but I am going to do a little work here. There's a few things we wanted to add after the fact. So instead of just doing the one light here in the hallway centered over the door, again, we're going to have some storage on this side. And so I think it might be helpful just to have one more light over here to really just brighten up this area. So I'm actually going to drill lining up with that hole going across, because we'll just take off of this light right here to go across. They're all on one switch anyways. Time to get to work. Follow this pretty much straight through the next rafter. So considering how I'm doing this by myself today, I'm not seeing a lot of the progress as I'm doing it, so my apologies, but I did go through, you saw, and drilled that hole going through, and then measured the distance for this plate right here to center it up. So this one's centered over the door. I'm gonna have this one centered over the window. So I made my marks on the ceiling here. And then just to make sure that it's in line with this one, I measured from each end of the plate to the wall, and then the same from this wall over, giving me the marks here and here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on now. So I was just going over some things with Kara, my wife, and one thing that we keep just going back and forth on is the lights on the other room upstairs, not the bunk room, but the other room. Originally the lights were much lower and more centered to the room, but again, because of the slope, it just looked kind of awkward. I'm still thinking they're a little too low, and so I talked to her, and I think I'm gonna move them up, not quite in line with the window or the middle of the window, but I'm gonna move them up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Two spots for the lights up, I'm going to go ahead, take the staples out, run the wiring up, so that way when we drill into the drywall, wiring's already up there, and just pull it through, wire up the lights, we're good to go. Here's how they look now. So you can almost see where they were just a minute ago. They were actually a little bit further down in this area to begin with. We moved them up. Even then, just seemed a little too low for the space, so just moved them up quite a bit. And they ended up actually being almost centered on the window, pretty close to it. So this way it'll be nice going in through the walkway, you know, coming in through the door, being well lit. And, you know, we'll have some lights down here later on anyways. We can put those on, you know, where the outlets are if we wanted to, but I really think this is just going to make it a little bit more bright in the room itself. And again, these are going to be the angled ones, so we can make them nice and flat. They're not going to be shining on the wall, so that will help out quite a bit. So these are the lights that I've been talking about. These are those flat wafer lights. So we've got two sets, one like this, which is on a gimbal, so you can actually adjust the light side to side so that when it's, you know, mounted in the ceiling, you can have it shine straight down. So in the vaulted areas and upstairs where you've got the slanted roof line, we can have it shine straight down. We have other same manufacturer, same size for downstairs where the roof is flat, and that way we can have everything, you know, uniform. They're all dimmable, so again, if you have too much light, we can dim it down. I don't think we'll have that issue, but again, it's nice to have that option. And then also the color temperature is selectable on here as well. So you can have those really warm whites if you'd like, or those really bright, super clean, cool whites as well if you'd prefer. And then on top of that, we're also going to be doing some smart switches. So with these, you can go in. These work with both Alexa and Google Home Assistants, but they're also, you know, dumb switches when they come down to it. So if you don't want to use a voice assistant, or if you've got people, like we'll be renting this out, and you have people that want to come in and don't necessarily feel comfortable using those, or don't know how to, they can just click these on and off like you would at your normal home. So, you know, it's a benefit for everyone that comes to stay. One thing that you probably already noticed from the last video, we don't have a door handle for the front door here, so let's go ahead and change that. Now, I know really you want the deadbolt on the top and then the door handle usually in the bottom, but because we're going to be using a smart door handle, we're going to be putting this on the bottom. Again, it's going to be reinforced, so we don't have to worry about it, but because of the size of the door handle, which you'll see here in a minute, that needs to go on the top. So first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to take the actual lock piece here, screw that in. Now, here's the door handle that we like. One, it's got a fingerprint, but you can also program different codes. What I like about this myself is you can have a master code, and you can give individual codes to pretty much anyone. So if you've got a handyman, a plumber, electrician, GC, they can all have their individual codes, and you can check and see when they actually came and went on the app for this. Also, again, as we've talked about, this will be a rental property, so I can put in for each rental, and I can make it only last for that time that they're going to be here. So if they rent for a week, that code's good for a week, and then after that, they can't get back in. I don't have to worry about coming up and changing it or having it on a lock pad or anything like that. It just makes things a lot easier. We have this at our own house, and we've had nothing but great things to say about it. Really enjoy it. It's very easy. Again, we can just walk up, put our fingerprint in, and unlocks for us. It's also reversible, so if you've got, you know, a right or left hand swing door, you can actually move the handle over so that it will work on either door. It's a really nice feature. So this, we're just going to feed the actual cable through, and then I'm going to bring the locking mechanism in. Okay, I'm just going to put this through, line it up, bring the wire through, and we're good to go. This is the interior piece. This goes on the inside, and then the other handle goes through there. As you can see, they've labeled cable hole. So we're just going to put the cable through here. And then we're going to bring the bolts in. Make sure that we're able to find where they need to go in to get screwed in. This can be the trickiest part, is trying to line these up, because they actually go in straight to grab the piece that they need to. Here's the first one. And I like to get them started before I actually tighten them in, just in case I do need to have any wiggle room. And sometimes it can be hard to get them in place. There's the second one. So again, here's that interior piece that we're talking about. So you can actually open and close it on either side. Just want to make sure you have it in the right position when you go to install it. And all you need to do on this, one, plug in the cable itself. So that's plugged in. Make sure you've got the handle in the right position. And then, right in. Now here's the cover for the batteries to be removed. Just take that off. There's 2 screws here and one on the bottom to hold this piece in place. There we go. So our door handle, all nice and done. And you can see everything works fine. Close the door, stays nice and shut. And there we are. We now have a door handle on the new door. Thanks again for coming along on today's adventure, and we'll see you on the next episode.